to make our slaves or be for the betterment of humanity. I feel like we need to live in balance with nature and the animal. We're animals as well, and we need to treat them with respect. And so that's my feelings about it, and that's the story behind this book as well.
Yeah, this is it's kind of like Anunnaki meets alien meets human, and the human we're not a very kind race. I worry.
Well, I think humanity can be. I think that there's two sides. There's the kind side, and then there's the this sort of we're better than everyone. We're better than all creation, and I think that there is kindness out there. For example, if you see stories on Facebook where a little mouse falls down a hole and then the whole town tries to rescue it. And, that's beautiful, but then these same people are leaving traps on their houses, to kill these mice. So, it's kind of interesting how humanity can be so kind, but then can also just be so evil. And we're just really not ready, and there's always going to be rogue scientists who you can say, okay, we're going to control CRISPR and we're not going to allow that to be, to happen. But, there's already been rogue scientists. There's a scientist in China who used CRISPR on twins and before they were born to try to cure them of AIDS, HIV, because I guess the father had it. So they were afraid that they would get it. So he altered their DNA. Now, you can't just go around altering human DNA because, that's now in the mix. That affects everyone. These two children have, and he made some errors while he did it. So, everybody, the scientific community was up in arms, but, this is going to happen. There's probably people, even in this country, rogue scientists, who are creating some pretty crazy things. And it is kind of like the island of Dr. Moreau.
Yeah, that's the thing that comes to mind.
Right?
It's probably one of my first thoughts was the island of Dr. Moreau. That is so bizarre. When you decided you were going to make the costumes and the masks for these folks, how did you decide what each character was going to represent?
That's an interesting question. No one's asked me that one.
Good.
Well, yeah, that's great. I did a lot of research on it, and for Pig King, he wears this mask that has sort of these vines growing out of the top, and then it's three faces. It's like the two faces on either side are human, and then the center face is a pig face. And this is, a really beautiful mask that I had this woman create. Her name is Kat Mondu, and she made some of these, the kinship leader masks. And we just talked at Kat Mondu.
I think I interviewed her last year.
Really?
Yeah.
She's a burlesque dancer. She lives in she made a bus that she lives in. That's really interesting. Like, she lives on her bus and travels around, but she made these masks, and we discussed it at length, what I was looking for. And with Pig King, so there was a mask like that. There was someone who attended the original, the Rothschilds ball in the 70s, and they wore a mask that had the three faces. And I thought that was interesting. So we did that, but we added the pig face in the front. So that, we thought about each one. With Kamadhenu, Kamadhenu is a goddess, is a fertility goddess in India. So because Kamadhenu is, she symbolizes cows and milk, and, that's a whole other thing they're doing. Scientists are making spider goats. And I actually spoke with the scientist who created the spider goats. And what it is it's a goat that they inserted the DNA of spiders. So the milk, when it comes out, has they can make it into strong tether, because spider silk is just so strong. So they've added that to the spider milk. Now that's kind of interesting. It's not hurting the goats really. who knows? Like it's also part of factory farming, I guess, but not at this level. It could become like that, which would be problematic. But the spider goats don't look like spiders; they look like goats. So that gave me the idea for this character who is part cow and part spider, and she's constantly her lactating, is that the word? She's
I think so.
Constantly, yeah, and and so I thought of the fertility goddess who you see pictures of, which is this cow with sort of this human face and the milk flowing out of her. So that we thought about that for that mask. So the mask has a very a strong Indian look to it, and the character does as well. So each one has something like that. Like Parthenope, she's part bird and part human and part bird, and she was created to have a beautiful voice and like a siren. The sirens
from the Odyssey.
Yes, the sirens who lure men to the rocks and crash their ships. So I have a wonderful opera singer named Kate Laurie, and she's been in many of my shows, and she has a beautiful voice. So I made her sort of this siren goddess, this Parthenope. But the sirens, actually, I don't know if you know this, but they had chicken legs, bird legs, and some of them were half sea creatures like mermaids, but some of them had chicken legs. So she's sort of part bird, part human. So each one has something like that.
That's fascinating. That is absolutely amazing.
There's a lot of history. There's a lot of different levels to this book.
Yes, there are. And I don't think a lot of people would realize that unless they were up on their history or their sciences a little bit. So it really plays to the senses. What's next for you?
I'm working on a story. I've been working on it for many years, and it's called Speakeasy Dollhouse. And my grandfather was a bootlegger during Prohibition, and he was mysteriously murdered. He was shot in Manhattan on the street, and nobody knew why. My mom was born the day he died, and because my grandmother went into shock. So I started researching this, and I've been working on it for quite some time. I did a show about it for about 5 years. And so I'm working on that. I'm also working on a story about a girl who is half tree and half human for young adults. And both of these books are for young adults. So, I like moving around. I originally was writing picture books for children, and then I started writing them for adults, and now I'm starting to work on books for young adults.
Wow. That's a full plate. Where can people find your books? I also
have a lot of animals here at my house. So I rescue animals.
Well, you have models right there for your characters.
I do. I have a house in the woods, and I have pigs, and I have chickens, and I have cats, dogs, a rabbit. So I do have a lot of, and they're all rescues. Well,
that would be what you want best. Rescue everything you can.
Exactly. That's my policy. I don't have time to do it. I can't do it full time, but any animal that comes comes into my path that needs help, I will help. Even humans. Humans are animals too. So I try to help people.
I think that's a pretty noble thing. Most people would consider doing that, but an animal, they need us. They can't tell us where they're from or what they've done, but they can look at us and melt our hearts.
True.
Where can people find your books?
So they can find them. You can order them obviously on Amazon and in comic book stores. I think they can find it in comic book stores. If they don't have it in the store, they can order it for you because it's distributed through Random House. And the publisher is Titan Comics. They're based in London. And so you can find it, you can order it online through Titan Comics website and also through Amazon.
Now, if people want to learn more about you and what you write or your artwork, where can they go?
Okay, well, so to find out more about me, you could go to my website, which is CYNTHIAVonBuehler.com. And if you want to find out more about the Illuminati Ball, the website is theilluminatiball.com. I also have, I also illustrated and wrote a book called The Girl Who Handcuffed Houdini, and that came out last year. And that book has its own website called minkywoodcock.com. That's a series, an ongoing series about Prohibition-era private detectives. And so, but everything can be reached through CYNTHIAVonBuehler.com, because you can click on theater or books, and it takes you to all the different places and all the different things that I've done. You can also find me on Twitter.
Sorry, go ahead.
I'm on Twitter at Cynth Von Buehler. My full name wouldn't fit, so Cynthia Von Buehler didn't fit. So it's Cynth, CYNTH Von Buehler on Twitter.
Awesome. Cynthia, thank you so much for joining us today. And I look forward
thank you for having me on.
I look forward to more art from you and more books. And The Girl Who Handcuffed Houdini, the title alone is enough to make me want to pick up that book. So that should be very interesting. I'll enjoy that. Yeah. Well, thank you for joining us. And will you be at the book fair this year?
I am. I will be at the Miami Book Fair.
Awesome. I'd really appreciate it if you'd sign my copy.
Oh, sure. And I'll bring you a copy of the other book then. So you'll be there as well.
Yes, we will be recording up in the dean's office. You bet.
Oh, wonderful. I'm going to be on a panel about unusual anatomy. So that's going to be kind of interesting if anybody wants to attend. I think the panel is called Imaginary Anatomy.
Imaginary Anatomy.
And there's two other really wonderful authors who will be on that panel, two other women.
Well, I will certainly look forward to meeting you then. Until then, thank you for joining us on Society Bites Radio, and until next time.
Thank you so much. Bye-bye.
Thanks for coming in. See you tomorrow. Remember, the topic is always hot. And oh hey, don't forget your change.